ਜੇਮਸ ਕਮਿੰਗਸ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਵਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਇਹ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ, ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸ਼ੈਡੋ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ, ਸਮਾਲ ਸਕੇਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਿਸ ਦੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਕ ਵੀ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਈਮੇਲ ਭੇਜੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਮੈਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਕ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਸੁਝਾਅ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਕਾਲਸ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਤੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਈਨ ਤੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਜੇਮਸ ਕਮਿੰਗਸ, ਸਮਾਲ ਸਕੇਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਕ ਆਫ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ। Mr. Cummings, welcome to Radio Parvasi and good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Thank you so much. I got your email yesterday. You have put very valid questions to the federal government. And one of them is that GST filed by the small scale businesses should be returned to them. So it's really a good suggestion because we know that small scale businesses are the backbone of our economy, and the hard hit section of the society right now is the small scale businesses. So what is your argument for this?
Well, thank you. And I think you've said it very well that small business is the backbone of the economy in Canada. And the concern that we've had from day one with the programs that have come out is none of them have been able to get cash into the accounts of these small businesses who are really struggling with cash flow. And we thought this was a extremely easy way for the government to be able to get some capital back into the accounts of the many small business owners so they can pay some of their bills, whether it be utilities or their lease payments or their employees. And so our suggestion was that that's something that Revenue Canada could do quite easily as we wait for these other programs to be implemented.
Okay. Mr. Cummings, government has announced that they will be giving $40,000 to all those small scale businesses who are affected during this time, but they have put a condition of 50,000 payroll. As far as I know, in our community, we are dealing with the small scale businesses. Their doors are closed now. They have to shut down their businesses. And I know many of them, I would say 80 to 90% of them, they are family run businesses. They don't have any payroll. They are hardly surviving. So I don't understand this condition. I have got so many calls from small scale businesses. They are saying that anybody who is paying tax, who is incorporated, who have bank account, who have reasonable revenue every year, submitting their files to CRA, those should be included. If we put this condition, I'm sure 90% business won't qualify. I have spoken to Minister Nabdi Bans. I have spoken to Mary Ng. I'm talking to all of our member parliaments, and I'm also going to interview our Minister of Finance very soon. I am bringing this issue to everybody's notice. So what is your take on this?
Well, I think you're quite right that, and they're not. Just to correct you, they're not giving anything. In fact, it's just a loan application. So they've set up a loan application that you can apply to up to $40,000 in an interest-free loan, and if you pay it back by December 31st of 2022, that they will rebate $10,000 of the loan. And you're quite right that there's a minimum threshold on payroll. So again, the programs have been put forward by the government to try and address small business. They've covered some areas, but there's other areas that they've missed completely. And those small businesses below 50,000 haven't been covered in a program other than the SERB program, where if you can receive $2,000 a month, but you can't be working other than they did announce that they're going to allow you to work a little bit. So you're quite right. I would encourage you to continue to advocate because there isn't a program in place that's dealing with those businesses with payroll under $50,000.
Okay. When I announced that you will be on our show today, I got many calls mostly from our truck drivers, people working in the trucking industry, transport industry, and they are asking me to bring to your notice that most of them are not covered under any insurance. So their families are worried about them. They are our heroes, they are our frontline workers, but there is no special benefit for them. So why don't we apply this, demand this insurance for their families, for their well-being?
Well, and I'd like to start by thanking those frontline workers who have been keeping products on the shelves, keeping us safe, allowing us to be able to socially isolate, but get those very important supplies that we need. So we've advocated with those owner-operators that if they are receiving dividends or as entrepreneurs, that's a source of income, that they should qualify for the wage subsidy. Again, probably an area that's slipped through the cracks that the Liberals haven't been able to catch. And they should be entitled to support just like everybody else is.
Okay, I'm also getting calls from our truck drivers, owner operators, and many of them are telling them that they're being forced to pay their installments. Their trucks are on installment. They have taken loan from financial institutions, but in this scenario, they are being forced to keep paying them. So I'm sure that we should be considerable to these people also.
Yeah, so there's been a significant amount of money that's been injected into the banking system, and with that, the intent was that they would do deferrals on loan and mortgage payments. And so if that's the case, I would encourage anybody to speak to their local MP and be able to give them that evidence that they're not being treated that way, and so that they can bring it forward to the minister and through their MP.
Okay. Being small scale business critic, any other suggestion you have for the government?
Yeah, so we've got a couple other things along with the GST that we think that this is just taking too long, both the wage subsidy program and the loan program. So we've been encouraging government, let's get on with it. Let's make sure that this is available as quickly as possible. We've also suggested that those who are receiving dividends in lieu of salary, they be eligible for the wage subsidy, and that they should put some different metrics in for the loan subsidy on how they calculate revenue, because there's many businesses that may have just started up, which they dealt with partly, but there are some businesses that have different forms of revenue than it could be subscription revenue, it could be a variety of different ways that they calculate revenue, and they should be as eligible for the wage subsidy as well. And that, along with what you mentioned earlier, we're suggesting that the GST for the past year be refunded back to businesses so they have some cash flow back in their businesses.
Okay, last thing, Mr. Cummings, I'm also a small scale business person. I'm running a company. I have around 16, 17 employees here, but few of them are on payroll and some of them are working as independent contractor, but they're totally depending upon me. So, but they are not being covered under that 75% wage rebate. So I don't know how I will be keeping to feed them, to support them, to pay them, because they are not coming under that category. So I think government should be little more considerate for these kind of situations also.
Yeah, what you've described is something that isn't covered under the 75%.
Yes.
And certainly that's probably another oversight. The difficult thing, and I will give government some credit, it's hard to catch everyone, and we're hoping as people like you speak up on those issues that they start to adjust the program so that we're covering as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah, and another thing, last thing, that we are getting calls from people who are in those kind of businesses where they need bigger spaces, like people in furniture selling business. So they're saying that they're paying $30,000, $40,000 a rent, and now they are hardly able to survive.
Yes, and we've heard lots about rent payments. And in some cases, landlords are offering to defer. Our concern with that is that deferral just means eventually you're going to have to pay. So if their revenue doesn't ramp up fast enough, they'll have a difficult time making their rent payment. So it has been noted there is no program for it other than this loan program where potentially you could use some of that capital towards a rent payment. But I do caution for all businesses that, again, that's borrowed money. It's not actual cash in your account. And I come back to, we think that this concept of getting GST back to those small businesses will at least help somewhat with some of those payments.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings. As I said in the beginning, it's not a time to blame each other, but work collectively. Anybody giving any good suggestion should be welcomed. And I'm really thankful to you. You guys are putting good points to the government, and I hope government should consider all of them.
We hope they do, and I tell all your listeners, keep up the social distancing, and we will get through this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cummings. Thank you so much. ਇਹ ਸਨ ਮਿਸਟਰ Cummings, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਮਾਲ ਸਕੇਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਟਿਕ ਨੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਿਰਾਇਆ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਫਰਨੀਚਰ ਸਟੋਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਬੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਡੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ। $40,000 ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ। ਇਟਸ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਇਹ ਲੋਨ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋਨ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਫ੍ਰੀ। ਤੋ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖੋ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੰਨੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਟਰੱਕਿੰਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਫਰੰਟ ਲਾਈਨ ਵਰਕਰਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਬੋਨਸ ਜਾਂ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟਸ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਮਿਲਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਨਾਲ ਸਹਿਮਤੀ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਮਾਲ ਸਕੇਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ 40,000 ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ 50,000 ਦਾ ਪੇ ਰੋਲ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਬਹੁਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇ ਰੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਟੈਕਸ ਫਾਈਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਲੈਜੀਟੀਮੇਟ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਿਰ 80-90% ਲੋਕ ਕੁਆਲੀਫਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਣਗੇ। ਤੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਵਦੀਪ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ, ਰੂਬੀ ਸਹੋਤਾ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ, ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਨਾਲ, ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਇਸ ਕੰਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਜਲਦੀ ਹਟਾਏਗੀ।